In case you haven't heard, by 2017, all grade 11 students will have to sit at least one technical or vocational subject in an external exam. Why?
The whole philosophy is to popularize TVET subjects in the high schools to make graduates more marketable for employment when they leave school or when they can go on to higher education.
Today on Jamaica Magazine, we review the minister's plans as government seeks to add value to lives. I'm Theodore Henry, welcome. Also in today's show, a look at the work of our national training agency, the Heart Trust, creating a world-class workforce. Stick around, the magazine begins with this message.
Jamaicans! For Labor Day this year, we will work together for the children.
That's right.
In every community, let's show them that we care. By creating and upgrading public spaces,
So our children can feel safe.
to play, have fun, and bond together. So come on, Jamaica, let's work together. It's a labor of love.
Nurturing our children. This Labor Day, May 25th.
Good day, I'm Stacey Ann Smith, and this is your GIS News for Tuesday, May 19. The Ministry of Health is urging people to get rid of mosquito breeding sites as it seeks to prevent an outbreak of the Zika virus in Jamaica. The Pan American Health Organization has warned of an outbreak of the Zika virus in Brazil and the potential for it to spread to other countries. The Zika virus is transmitted by the bite of an infected Aedes aegypti mosquito, which also transmits chikungunya and dengue. No deaths due to the Zika virus have been recorded worldwide to date, but symptoms are similar to dengue and usually appear following the incubation period of 3 to 12 days.
The Ministry of Health is taking this threat very seriously, and we are urging all Jamaicans to do everything necessary to prevent mosquito breeding, particularly as the rains have returned. Also for those persons who have been storing water because of the drought, we are asking that you ensure that these are covered to prevent mosquito breeding.
The Zika virus is among the agenda items at the World Health Assembly that's currently being held in Geneva, Switzerland. Health Minister Dr. Fenton Ferguson is attending the assembly with a team from his ministry, including the Permanent Secretary. A software tracking solution has been launched that will help Jamaica become a center of excellence for research and development in medical ganja. The technology is from U.S. firm BioTrack THC and was launched last Thursday at the University of Technology, Jamaica, UTech. The partnership with BioTrack THC will facilitate training at UTech and the University of the West Indies, Mona, which are the only entities allowed to legally grow ganja in Jamaica for research purposes. It will provide a comprehensive tracking platform that gives data to government and ganja businesses on the movement of medical ganja from seed to sale. Science and Technology Minister Philip Polwell says ventures like this support government's thrust to ensure the country achieves full value from the developing sector.
I'm not into shipping out our ganja plants. I'm into extracting the value, building value here and making this a multi-billion-dollar industry for us in Jamaica.
The Education Ministry will be increasing the practical teaching of climate change and its impact within the nation's schools. Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites made the announcement at the launch of the second annual Youth Climate Change Conference.
It is important that the schools be at the center of every effort to come to grips with climate change and education and environmental sustainability. I'm encouraging teachers, researchers, to help us to prepare these materials. And over the next 6-8 months, there is going to be a proliferation of material. We want it to be local material.
The second annual Youth Climate Change Conference will be held on September 25. High school students all across the island will converge at the Jamaica Conference Center to discuss and learn about climate change and its impact. The initiative is part of a USAID-funded project called Jamaica Rural Economy and Ecosystems Adapting to Climate Change. Infant students from the Rennock Lodge All-Age School are to benefit from a $1 million specialized playground that will be powered by renewable energy. Ground was recently broken for construction of the Green Project, which is to be completed by August. It's being facilitated by the Jamaica Public Service Foundation. Minister of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining, Philip Holwell, has welcomed the initiative, saying the playground will help the children develop their mobility skills.
And I think it's that here in the infant department, and to expose that child to playing facilities, surfaces that are modern, that are well constructed, augurs well for that child's development.
Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites is inviting the church community to serve as volunteer facilitators for the ministry's Respect Agenda campaign.
As we reach out and adopt the Respect Agenda, we are to make the choice of taking the spiritual strength of the sanctuary, the living presence of God, and to take it out of here into the schools.
The minister was speaking at a recent church service at the St. Peter and Paul Church in St. Andrew. The Respect Agenda campaign is a values and attitudes program that seeks to guide students in aspects of civic values such as respect, honesty, discipline, and hard work. As part of the campaign, a pilot values and attitudes promotion training program was recently completed at the Sandy Park Basic School in Ligonier. And finally, the St. Catherine Adult Correctional Center is making strides in its program to rehabilitate inmates. Speaking with JIS News after a recent tour of the facility, Superintendent of the center, Reuben Kelly, said the number of violent encounters among prisoners has decreased.
We find that violence incidents has been downsized from maybe 15 per week to basically 1 now in 3 months. There are inmates here who used to behave quite boisterously, and what we have noticed now, they too have become on board in these programs, and we have seen quite a bit of change in them.
Inmates are getting hands-on training and work experience in areas like agriculture, food and beverage, carpentry, tailoring and auto mechanics. They're also developing their academic, musical and media and communication skills. The St. Catherine Adult Correctional Center is also improving its physical infrastructure and resources to further improve the lives of inmates. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stacey Ann Smith. Thank you for watching.
Hundreds of educators from Jamaica and the region were in Montego Bay last week for a conference on technical vocational education and training, TVET for short. Advocates believe that if we include TVET throughout our education system, it will drive economic growth. So they've been pushing governments in the region to get on board. Here in Jamaica, the Education Ministry is already leading the way, pushing TVET in the school system and creating policies that are adding value to lives. Learn more next.
Intensifying efforts to deliver quality education and training to more Jamaicans. That's the goal for the Ministry of Education for the 2015-2016 fiscal year.
This year, we report on the transformative initiatives underway and assess how we can intensify their impact. Mr. Speaker, how we are adding value to lives.
For the 2015-2016 fiscal year, another 250 inadequate basic schools will be upgraded to infant status, offering more space and better facilities for children 3 to 5 years old. 400 basic schools will also be staffed with fully trained early childhood teachers. The ministry is also committing $2.2 billion to provide breakfast and lunch meals to the youngsters.
Our target this year is to spend about 20% of the school feeding budget of nearly $5 billion on locally grown fruits, vegetables, tubers, eggs, and other proteins.
And the ministry's wage subsidy for early childhood teachers employed by private or non-government organizations will be increased by 15%.
This will be done from the better spending of existing funds. We are keeping our promises to them because they will add value. Parents of children with special needs, you don't need to keep them away anymore. Bring them come to school. They too must have a chance to have value added to their lives.
A 2014 assessment called Child Find found that 34% of the students assessed were evaluated to be at borderline level of functioning, while 60% were at extremely low intellectual functioning. To help address those findings, the Education Ministry is establishing a vouched diagnostic facility in Savannah-Lamar, Westmoreland this year in partnership with the Rock House Foundation. Meanwhile, diagnostic centers will soon be opened at the Sam Sharp Teachers College in St. James and Church Teachers College in Manchester. In addition, 30 new pull-out diagnostic centers will be established. It was announced recently that Jamaica had moved up 41 places to 87 on the 2014 Global Competitive Index for Primary Education Enrollment. The Education Ministry wants even further improvement. To help make that happen, the removal of schools from the SHIFT program continues, with 15 primary schools targeted for the 2015-2016 fiscal year. And through partnerships with Food for the Poor, the Jamaica Social Investment Fund and the Chase Fund, all pit latrines will be replaced by the end of the 2015-2016 school year. In 2015-2016, there are also plans to remove at least 20 more secondary schools off the SHIFT system. Meanwhile, the Nain and New Forest Junior High schools are targeted for upgrading to high school status. A number of high schools will also benefit from the deployment of 84 math specialists to primary and secondary schools. And 8 new technical subjects will be introduced to 110 targeted high schools in the upcoming academic year.
The whole philosophy is to popularize TVET subjects in the high schools to make graduates more marketable for employment when they leave school or when they can go on to higher education. We've put back the E for employment into the Heart Trust NTA. Heart has a new heart.
With that new lifeline, the registered apprenticeship program, now endorsed by the International Labour Organization, is projected to train 2,000 persons to become internationally certified and work ready by the end of the 2015-2016 academic year. Heart Trust NTA is also expecting to train 1,388 persons in call contact operations in 2015-2016. They are in addition to 816 persons who were previously trained to fill jobs at Sutherland Global Services, a company in the business processing operations sector. The training agency has meanwhile begun the installation of 200 incubation workstations at Sutherland Global's Gardentown Road facility to accommodate 1,500 employees in the BPO sector in the fiscal year.
I want to tell all investors, local and foreign, that once we know their needs for the Jamaican education system, will train the finest quality employees for their enterprises, quality in appropriate skills and work attitudes.
15,000 unattached youth are to be trained annually under a new Heart Trust NTA initiative.
The program consists of 3 components: apprenticeship for participants with CSEC qualifications, full skill training for participants without CSEC but who have passed the Heart Train entrance test, and the 3rd component is literacy, attitudinal and skill upgrading for participants who have no qualifications.
As a means of expanding educational opportunities to all, the Council of Community Colleges of Jamaica will introduce the online delivery of some courses starting this September. And the Education Ministry has established a payment scheme with the University of the West Indies to make it significantly easier for students to pay their tuition fees.
The University of the West Indies is giving time to students and their families to find the money, even to the morning of the examination, even when the students haven't paid and take the examination. Yes, and they hold the results until they can pay. And I'm asking the University of Technology to rope in on that. Yes. Yes? No more of paying money and then being asked to sit out for a year. That's not good enough.
More is on the agenda for the education sector. The ministry has completed consultations on the Jamaica Teaching Council Bill and the revision of the Code of Regulations, which will be brought to Parliament during this legislative year. A series of readers entitled The Heroes of Jamaica will be introduced to students in September 2015 to add to the teachings of Garvey in the current civics curriculum. And after government's passage of ganja reform laws, the Education and Justice Ministries are partnering on a public education initiative to make it clear that students should not be smoking marijuana.
We have to state very clearly from this house that ganja is not for school children and smoking is not to be permitted in any school.
The Ministry of Education, enabling quality education while adding value to lives.
Be an active participant in your child's life. Spend time with your child. No phones, no television, no distractions. Just the two of you. Get to know your child through play. Why not go to the park and get on the monkey bars? Sharing a meal can also be a time of bonding. If your child's in school, be involved in school activities. Speak with your child's teacher. Follow up on their progress in school and see how you can help. Assist them with homework. Attend parent-teacher meetings and support school fundraising events. Remember, your child's future is in your hands. Safeguard it.
So glad you are a child of mine.
Do you want to learn a skill or trade and become internationally certified? Well, if that's your goal, you can achieve it with our own training agency right here in Jamaica. For many years, the Heart Trust NTA has produced qualified, competent individuals in a wide range of areas.
For over 20 years, Heart Trust has been preparing Jamaicans to take their rightful place in the workforce. Today, we look back at some of the achievements of this institution.
When the Human Employment and Training Resource Heart Trust was established in 1982, it was largely in response to the high unemployment rates among young persons in the island and the economy's inability to absorb the graduates of the secondary school system. The trust had a responsibility to develop and monitor employment training programs, assist in placing graduates seeking jobs, and promote employment projects. The Heart Act also had a provision for a 3% payroll tax payable by employers. Following a restructuring program in 1991, a National Training Support Service component was added to the trust. It then became Jamaica's National Training Agency. The idea for the National Training Agency was the result of CARICOM's concern in 1990 about the inability of the region's workforce to compete globally with their counterparts in other countries. Since Heart Trust was already established in Jamaica, it became the National Training Agency. With its expanded role, Heart Trust's focus also changed from primarily young persons to the entire workforce. Heart Trust now has over 10 academies and institutions throughout the island, with an additional network of 16 vocational training centers. From 1989 to 1997, over 50,000 persons graduated from the agency, and the number of graduates has been increasing each year.
Can you believe it? Many people have a working life of 45 years. Can you imagine 45 years of doing something you don't like? Many people don't like their jobs. Well, my name is Trisha Scott, and I'm a leader, not a follower. I'm a trained mechanic, I'm good at it, and I love it.
To find success and fulfillment, not all of us have to work as lawyers or doctors. I'm Tony Barton, and I was trained as an engineer. But interestingly enough, my career path led me right back to my family heritage. It is woodworking. The craft industry in Jamaica is highly underrated, but I am proof of the fact that opportunities can be uncovered and carved out, even with these hands.
High Trust has not only been successful in equipping trainees to meet the demands of the workforce, but also in ensuring that the training is relevant. It is anticipated that as the years go by, High Trust NTA will continue to form partnerships with every sector of the economy, providing the necessary skilled persons to meet current demands. Ultimately, its goal is to lift the Caribbean as a destination for sophisticated investment and improve the quality of life and earning power of the region's workforce.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
A group of former inmates have been given a second chance. Through skills training, they've turned over a new leaf and are now contributing positively to their community and beyond. They are men on a mission with a powerful message.
I'm on the rise, I'm on the rise.
I was like a rebellion against the system, but that never was the way, Virgin.
I was convicted and sent to prison. Spent 14 years on death row, only see 5 minutes of sunlight each day for 14 years. I was taken to the gallows and was supposed to be hung. Twice they built coffin for me and twice they dig hole. But God knows best.
Men who have made wrong choices in their past.
These are men who were either incarcerated or persons who were informal enforcers, as we say in Jamaica. These were persons who had no regard for law and order, who have actually, by whatever means possible, by whatever stimuli, have actually decided that they don't want that life anymore. They want to actually be positive role models in society.
Now they are sharing their experiences with the determination of reaching out to the youths and even their peers to not make the same mistakes they did. And by so doing, they are helping to restore and preserve the society's value system, thus securing the rock with their message.
Trenchtown youths, top up love, delete violence. Things take time to do if you take time to do it. Trenchtown youths, focus, take life serious.
We are trying to help them to realize that crime and violence is not something that is good. It's something that will destroy the society and the entire family. And once the family is destroyed, then the society will be destroyed.
Men with a Message is an initiative out of the Citizen Security and Justice Program, CSJP. The group, which consists of 10 men, was identified by CSJP's community action officers from among the program's many participants. Having received vocational and skills training, placed in jobs and managed to maintain clean police records for at least 2 years, the young men successfully navigated the interview process and were made ready for their mission. Armed with a different attitude, these men are now fighting against the same plague that once struck them: crime, violence, and lack of education.
To live a better life and to act in a better manner, education is the surest guarantee for a better life. You can't constantly do something when not giving you a good result. That's madness. That was how I define badness. So who I run down badness and madness. Because I was in it, so now listen keenly. So any man out there come for you, so I go to the eye there, all them can get to know.
It is reported that young men between the ages of 15 and 25 are most vulnerable to criminal activities. So, as part of the CSJP's initiatives within volatile communities, Men with a Message have been going into youth clubs and schools through the Safe Schools program to deliver their message of transformation.
I definitely want these youngsters to understand that crime on our whole is not something that they should want to indulge in. We know we cannot totally eliminate crime and violence from the society, but at least we can help to minimize it to a tolerable level.
Principals have actually reported that after Men with a Message have come and spoken to the students, delinquent students have actually been the ones now to curb the other students. There have actually been cases where students have been collecting knives from other students as a result of Men with a Message coming and speaking to them.
It doesn't have to be that we have gunmen around and so on, but it has to be that they understand that when they become men themselves, they have to become men of standard, men of worth, men of value. And that is what our society needs. And so many of these boys lack seeing men who are role models in this way.
I would like to see from this program youth getting the benefit that I know is there, because I am also a recipient of the program.
The common good of the society of Jamaica, which should always be the new name of justice, cannot be achieved by means of violence, because violence destroys what we intend to create.
These may seem like just words, but not to these men. With the CSJP operating in 50 communities, the men are spreading their message that change is possible and that the cycle of violence and underachievement from the inner city can be broken. And they are also living testimonies that the CSJP's programs actually work.
Jamaica, join with us to secure the rock, top up love, delete violence, Jamaica youths, blessed love.
I'm on the rise, I'm on the rise. Higher than higher than. So we now go to jail again. Oh no, and we never gonna feel again.
The possession of small quantities of ganja is still against the law, but as of April 15, 2015, it is decriminalized.
Possession of 2 ounces or 0.057 kilograms or less will become a non-arrestable, ticketable infraction.
That means you can't be held by the police or end up with a criminal record, but you will be given a $500 ticket. The police may also recommend counseling for minors or adults they believe to be hooked on the drug. The ticket must be paid at any tax office within 30 days. If you miss the deadline, the Petty Session Court can order community service or a fine of $2,000. But be clear, possession of more than 2 ounces of ganja is still a criminal offense that comes with a fine or a prison sentence. There are exceptions, however. The rules against possession of ganja do not apply to Rastafarians who use it as a religious sacrament and persons with a prescription for medical or therapeutic purposes. Ganja can also be used in scientific research. Be in the know. Get the facts on the Dangerous Drugs Amendment Act. Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
So we now go to jail again. Oh no, and we never gonna feel again.
We've come to the end of today's program. We encourage those who want to learn that skill or trade to get the process in motion right now, today. Stop procrastinating. With the right mindset and attitude, you will be able to improve your life and contribute to society. Well, that's my parting shot today. To see a repeat of this program or others, visit our YouTube channel or click on the JIS website. We also encourage you to share your feedback by emailing us at jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the entire JIS team, I'm Theodore Henry, inviting you to tune in again tomorrow to another edition of Jamaica Magazine.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.